So, Winx Club.
Open your eyes, open your mind. We are the Winx.
If you've ever looked at my channel before, you notice one of two things. One, I really love a good redesign video, but like, damn, I need to diversify my content a bit more. And two, one of my top 3 videos is redesigning the Winx Club crew. And I'm honestly really fond of this video. Not only because it was like my first vid to ever hit 100k while I was still starting out, thanks for that by the way, but because of how much time and passion I poured into it. And you can probably pin this as the point I started to take YouTube a bit more seriously and lock in, trying to make each video its own unique experience with some sort of fun twist, whether it be an animatic, knockoff anime OP, or a fake dress-up game. However, there's just one small issue I have with this video that's been nagging at me for too long to ignore. I just don't like the designs anymore.
Ew! What an interesting artifact.
I don't know, the more I look at them, the more I really start to wonder, what was I thinking in the moment? The anatomy is really pushing the word art style, the fashion being a mix of reheated nachos or just plain bad, the style being different from my usual work where I was trying to incorporate more Winx elements in there, but it just led to something that was neither mine nor Winx. It's bad, okay, and I know I can do better now, so that's what I want to do, using this video as an opportunity to redesign my old looks and see how much I've grown, but also talk a bit about the reboot and my thoughts on it, specifically how much I kind of hate it, lol. Like, it just looks bad, it's poorly written, and every voice acting performance sounds like it was directed by the TikTok voice filter lady. You know the one.
The question is not what you did, Bloom, but was it for the right reasons? I guess.
This is Black Diamond. She is the most powerful diamond, and she's also the one Pink most likes to—
And what else can I say about the alleged, big word on the alleged, their lawyers, usage of AI that's totally not visible or evident in any of the show whatsoever?
It's my shoe collection. Why don't you move your treadmill?
Uncomfortable with argument.
I'm not gonna rant on this for too long, that's literally what the character sections are for, but kids deserve better, man, not this hot mess. But before we begin, I'm assuming we all know about Winx Club here, right? I mean, most of you clicked on the video specifically because of it, but for the few who don't, I'll give you a quick catch-up. Winx Club was a 2000s girl power fantasy adventure cartoon turned multimedia franchise created by Eugenio Straffi with help from studios Rainbow and Rai, and even worked with Nickelodeon for a bit too, spanning over 8 seasons, movies, spin-offs, and a new and recent reboot, which sucks. We followed Bloom, Fairy of the Dragonflame, Stella, Fairy of the Sun and Moon, Flora, Fairy of Nature, Tecna, Fairy of Technology, Musa, Fairy of Music, and Aisha, Fairy of Waves, as the girls go about their daily lives attending school, having a relationship drama, and always untangling some new grand mystery that leads them to banding together and saving the magic dimension from evil. It's a very unique series that actually tackles a few interesting topics and themes for a kids show, as well as having consequences and stakes which led to a more compelling story, or at least in its earlier seasons. I'll save you the video essay and just say, the series has been fumbling for quite a few years now, with Nickelodeon's meddling from season 5 onwards, to story retcons up the wazoo taking away threats and impact, and this constant lowering of its age demographic to appeal more to toddlers than the young kids and teens it was originally targeted for. It's a really strange car crash to watch, all topped off with a reboot that was promised to be so much more and taking itself back to its roots, only to be an alleged AI recap of seasons 1 to 3 again, but in less time and with worse character writing. This isn't to spark a new thing bad, old thing good debate in the comments. Reboots can still be interesting and a great way to retell a story with a fresh coat of paint. But when a reboot is just a weaker version riddled with alleged AI at multiple stages of development and designed to be the equivalent of jingling keys to keep attention, then I think we should call it what it is. Trash and AI slop. Kids deserve quality and interesting stories too, that can start introducing them to certain concepts and relationship dynamics, not something so sanitized with sanded off edges. But I've made my peace with the show. With the direction Winx is going, I don't expect it to ever really rekindle the same passion and creativity it once had, which sucks, but sometimes it's all about moving forward and looking more towards the future. And fans are still creating new content and ideas every day. So I think it's more important than ever to go support them and their projects, whether it be artwork, music, animation, just send some love their way. Anyway, I've doom ranted enough now. How about we start redesigning some Winx girls, shall we? Who better to start us off today than the girl who starts off the whole series, Bloom, the character who I end up changing the least in her redesign. I mean, mainly outfit-wise. I think I was onto something with the original concept here, but the whole thing just needed a little more time in the oven to cook. And after a year and a half, I say that's plenty of time, and the result was slow cooked to perfection. Despite her early season shy and insecure nature, don't let yourself be fooled. Bloom has always been a Y2K diva, and serving looks. Her wardrobe is stacked, which totally didn't add any pressure on me trying to do my own spin on it. Just like Bloom's core look from the OG and reboot, I wanted to try something casual and denim, so she still got her signature bell-bottom jeans, this time with a much more interesting lace pattern, folded and flowing down from the front of them, very inspired by Reed from Reverse 1999, as well as some cute star embellishments trailing down from her knees, because despite the later push for hearts, early Winx really loved to pair Bloom up with stars, and I honestly wish we could have kept both of them. For her top, we're once again bringing in a little more of her preppy side that our studious fairy is known for, with a short puffy shirt underneath a cropped vest, with this cute formal belt. However, I still wanted some of her crafty side to shine through with the way that she accessorizes and tops off her outfit. While you see a bit of it from the lace segment of her jeans, you can also see it in her stringy necklaces, cute heart pin on her collar, pin cushion on her wrist under her big old scrunchie which she uses to tie back her hair for serious projects, which, speaking of hair, her fringe and her little left side piece are all held in place by a cute fairy hair clip, which I thought made for a fun nod to her love for fantasy without it being too in your face about it. And the whole look is topped off with some classic Yaru thick wedge sandals, with one more heart motif in the heels just to finish them off. For colours, we're going to be playing it pretty traditional today, since if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Bloom's classic blues and yellows still pair up really well together. Although I did also add a few sprinkles of pastel pink as an accent in there, from her badge, pincushion, and even her pastel makeup, just to add a fun third colour to the outfit, but also reference Bloom's eventual transition to pink, which, as you might know, I'm not opposed to, but when Rainbow keeps pairing Girly up in only magenta and hot pink, then I think we're gonna have a bit of a problem. Like, oh my god, pink and blue isn't a bad combo, but when it's every outfit, it's just so boring to look at. Please just pair my girl up with some yellow or even green for once. She looks so cute in green and pink. Why are you sleeping on this combo for another fuchsia and deep blue outfit? Also, like my old design, I kept Bloom with freckles. Other than the fact I just love to give ginger girls freckles on this channel, I still think she looks really cute with them. Like, come on, you see the vision, right? Last but not least, personality time. In my old video, I just went over the designs of the characters without really much input on how I'd write them. But after the reboot's really lukewarm takes on the crew, I wanted to change that and talk about how I'd spin the characters. With Bloom, I reimagined her to be someone very sociable, fiery, and quick thinking. She's someone with a friendly soul, will stand up for what's right, and will say it how she sees it if you're being a jerk. However, despite always putting herself out there to make friends and offer a helping hand, the problem she has is people often don't take it, seeing her as intense and weird. No matter how many clubs she tries out for, conversations seem to end at simple small talk. No matter how many murals she paints, people only give little compliments before walking on. And no matter how hard she tries, she just feels like she doesn't fit in Gardenia. Well, she doesn't want to let it get to her and worry her parents. There's only so much talking to her pet bunny a girl can do before she starts to feel the loneliness creep back in. It's only after rushing in to protect Stella from an ambush, surprisingly having the courage to stand up to beasts she's only ever read about in books, and having her fairy magic awakened and recognized, that Bloom gets to start attending Althea boarding school for fairies. Which, from there, she starts to make real connections, meeting the Winx crew, and having people actually like her optimistic perspective and fresh view on things. I just thought it could be a bit more interesting, having Bloom's story start a little more confident and strong-willed, compared to her usual shy and clumsy demeanor, as while I do love her character arc of becoming more confident and growing into a kind and compassionate leader, her writing tends to fizzle out right after that. As post-season 3, she's just constantly very confident and always in the right, something that totally doesn't become really boring and just set my girl up to get jumped by the internet. Listen, I know some of us don't like later season Bloom, but we need to be woker than this. No more blaming the woman. Instead, we need to start blaming the men more who wrote her like that. And here's Bloom's look all finished up, and I'm so happy with her improvement. Other than the art style upgrade, I think her new outfit is a whole lot cuter and way more fashionable, while still being a fun nod with elements from her old and new style. Her colours are more cohesive, while still having some natural tones to them, kind of like how her hair reads more natural ginger than red, and her anatomy is 10 times better. Like, what else can I say? I think she looks amazing, and it just really makes me happy to see how much I've improved in one image. But enough gushing about her civilian look. I think it's time this lost fairy from Gardenia transforms and shows off her Winx form. Of course I wasn't going to leave out the transformations, something I think makes this series of mine so distinct, but also giving me an excuse to storyboard some animatics, and put my dusty animation degree that I went into debt for to use. Those of you with a keen eye and memory might have noticed they're a little different again. See, in my original video, I was trying to imitate the classic Winx transformation with more of a magical girl flair and references going on, while in part 2, the villain's redesign video, I was more imitating Madoka Magica for some cool and edgy visuals. And while I did want to do some Madoka transformations again, since they do look very cool and artsy, I thought it made more sense just to play it safe and reference the original work, something a lot of you are probably more expecting. That, and it's totally not because I plan to make the Enchantix transformations more Madoka inspired or anything. But enough about that, let's talk about her outfit. For my take on the Winx forms, we're once again mixing up their looks, now going for a more sporty space theme with them. The idea behind it being that, though basic Winx forms is the equivalent of the girls just changing into some gym clothes to do school assignments or train in, but of course styled differently depending on the fairy, as it can either look sportier or more frilly, just as long as it's easily maneuverable in. Then, as we progress in forms and upgrades, the designs will slowly become more floral and natural, especially by their Enchantix stage, when they would have graduated finally as true fairies. I've said it before, but I kind of don't think you can really top the original outfit design. They're so simple and iconic in a way that it's just really hard to redesign, so I'm just not going to set myself up for failure, and instead reimagine something else. Bloom's now sporting a look that blends her classic Winx form with her Magic Winx concept, changing her tiara to be sharper and more spaced out like horns, having her iconic turtleneck crop top over a slit dress, adding some flowy silky sleeves like the concept look, open-toe boots, which I'm a fan of for their diamond shapes, all topped off with gold trims, bracelets, and accents everywhere. I think the whole outfit looks great, and it feels like a good mix between something stretchy and comfortable, but also styled to be a little cool and fantasy-like, with some sharp edges and gold for that spacey vibe too. That, and I love the little hints of royalty in there with the gold trims, that Bloom probably writes off as her taking inspiration from Stella's outfit, as well as the diamond shapes scattered all around being references to dragon scales, and even her tiara meant to be imitating dragon horns, dropping little hints early that she's not just a regular fairy of fire like everyone assumes based on her elemental magic, but rather the fairy of the dragon flame, hidden in plain sight. I also want to give a big shout out to her wings design, which I put a lot of time and effort into this time round, so you're going to be looking at them. Instead of just copying the OG or the reboots look, I wanted to try and merge the two together, as I love the idea of these more detailed and fantastical looking fairy wings, but sometimes them having a little more structure and simplicity works too. That and just a little less pink. Like, come on, let's just tone it down a little, guys. For Bloom's wings, I layered a whole lot of story in them, resembling that of dragonfly wings, because, you know, she's got the dragon flame. Looking a lot like her classic wings, but much more flowy and flared out like flames, with her inside patterns resembling that of stained glass. The whole look having this gold trim to them to be very regal, and even having a cute little heart in there to foreshadow her charmix. And, my favourite detail, the wings connectors, which other than looking wild like flames too, are meant to resemble a freshly torn cocoon, to which Bloom's wings have only just freshly emerged from. Like I said, I had to give a big shout out to them because I think they add so many more layers to Bloom's character and story. That, and also I just wanted to show off how serious I am about it this time. When I said I wanted to improve these redesigns, I meant it. Either way, I'm super proud of the whole design, and I'm obsessed with how she turned out. I just love it, and I hope you do too. Up next, we have none other than the fairy whose battle helped awaken Bloom's powers and entangled the two from then onwards. It's the fashion icon herself, Stella. Similarly to Bloom, I think I was really onto something with my original concept for Stella, as despite people's opinions, I still think Season 1 Stella was going for more of a summery boho vibe with her fashion and wardrobe. And I mean, literally look at her civilian and casual dance outfits. However, taking into account her more trendy and stylish aesthetic Season 2 onwards, I decided to try and find a bridge between the two, something more retro yet also current, which led me to take Stella into a more 60s Y2K resurgent style. Quite similarly to her reboot's outfit, Stella's look is quite simple, now sporting a cropped turtleneck with a white ribbon on the side, a low-riding futuristic-looking skirt with a green star on the thigh, all the way down to these flashy go-go boots with star-shaped heels. And this is all topped off with her simple but cute accessories, from her lavender headband holding back her long silky hair, moon necklace gifted to her by her mother, belly button piercing that she got in rebellion during her parents' divorce, the act actually helping them all relax a bit more as they had something to laugh over instead during a tense time. And of course, can't forget her sun and moon chain belt, since there was no way I was going to leave out such an iconic accessory of hers. For colours, we're keeping it traditional once again. Even more so actually, as we initially tried working in some burgundy in her old concept to keep a more summery sunset sort of vibe. I actually really loved the original's use of lavender, and thought it made for such an interesting break in the colours from the green and oranges. So it's back once again, just like her tanned complexion that I also gave her too. A strange common debate that seemed to have surprisingly popped up in my original video was why I darkened Stella's skin tone, or as some odd people commented, ruined her. Which I've just got to ask, why are you mad I redesigned a character differently in my redesign video? Like, oh my god, I gave the Fairy of Sun and Moon some melanin? Shocker. Sorry, I wanted to make her a little more distinct from Bloom and Tecna. Plus, Stella looks good with a tan. I thought we all agreed on that, especially with her Enchantix form renders literally giving her one. So, I'm just a little perplexed where this random burst of outrage and racism came from. If you're that pressed about my take on a character, then maybe don't watch my video. Like, go on, leave, change. It is really not that deep, I assure you. Anyway, tangent aside, it's personality time. And boy howdy do I have some thoughts on how I'd write Stella. Especially after how much she ends up getting flanderized progressively throughout the series, going from a sassy, self-centered, yet optimistic and secretly caring girl, to like a dumb blonde trope who acts extremely loud and childish because that's funny, I guess. You know, it's not like what made Stella funny originally was her being so out of touch from the real world due to her royal and pampered status, or even watching her suffer consequences from doing something bad like skip chores or be mean, or even Stella being too playful and sharp, leading to interesting conflict and dynamic between the girls. But this isn't about how the show botched my girl. This video is meant to be more about what I do. So, for my take on Stella, I'd love her to be back to a more playful and shady nature, but genuinely well-meaning and caring for her friends. She acts more like an older sister to the group, always stepping in to protect them, whether verbally or physically. However, just like older siblings, she can also be a bit annoying and overbearing sometimes, usually leading to conflict stemming from her being a bit too close and comfortable with the others without realizing their boundaries. It's odd she even acts older considering she's the same age as everyone else, although what the others don't realize is that this stems from her parents' divorce, with them choosing to split while Stella was still young, but not handling it very well or adult-like from either side. This reckless and messy home life full of bickering, along with her being picked on in school, led Stella to mature faster than others and step up to be the voice of reason, as well as the voice to put others back in their place. Something that maybe's taken a bit of a toll on her social skills, but the Winx crew end up loving her eccentric and different behaviour. She's still into fashion as always, but I thought it'd be cool if, like the reboot, there was more of a focus on her designing clothes. Perhaps she could help modify the others' outfits to fit their styles a bit more, or even create outfits for the whole team, which excuses why they have matching looks from time to time. Another keen interest of Stella's is travel, not only just to relax on a nice, all-expenses-paid vacation, but also to explore alternative environments and cultures, especially those with more history to them, which is actually what led her to visiting Earth initially. Enjoying her last few days of summer break before the school semester started again, Stella decided to drop off on Earth, blending in and seeing what fashion this cute little alien planet was hiding. It's only after a small interaction with Bloom, complimenting her outfit but then sensing something's off, does she realize that she's being stalked, choosing to take this confrontation out of the way and into the park woods where no one can see her. And while she might have got jumped bad, it's thanks to Bloom's courage to defend her while she's down without even knowing she had powers yet that Stella finds truly inspiring and indebted to Bloom, offering to take her along to fairy school, as surely she must be a special cause and they definitely let her in. I mean, come on, a fairy still on Earth? That hasn't happened in centuries, so she must be special. And in turn, Stella will always be her special best friend. And here's Stella's look all finished up. And I think she's serving up a storm this time. Something about her is just so regal and sleek that it makes me love the final result. And she's also kind of giving Daphne Blake vibes a bit. I can't really explain why, but you see the vision, right? It might be the long rounded hair and the headband maybe, but who cares, she's rocking it. I think her colours look great, her pose and face is so much more charismatic, and the whole outfit is the cherry on top. Some of you might have noticed during the speed paint, I actually drew a second top that I kept going back and forth on using. Well, other than the fact I drew a lot of different clothing pieces for Stella that didn't make the cut, I thought to include at least one alt, because I genuinely couldn't make up my mind which top I liked the most. So instead, I added some lore behind it. While Stella's main civilian look is her in a green cropped turtleneck, this look only really works for spring and summer seasons. As come autumn and winter, she changes out to wearing this turtleneck jumper combo, where the green turtleneck is now replaced by a white one underneath a baggy off-the-shoulders loose green jumper. This one also feels a little more like my old concept, as well as the Reboot's look, where she's wearing a cropped white top underneath something green. I don't know, maybe Stella just rocks white and green as a combo, which is why I made her boots those colors too, as opposed to just more orange. Either way, I think it's a fun alt, and it works as a great seasonal look while also showing off time moving in the world. So I hope you like it, as well as the more summery one too. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention, I also added in the Ring of Solaria onto her left hand, because kind of like the show, I also forgot that existed. Whoops. But enough about civilian clothes. I think it's about time we move on to her Winx form. Now, like one other character in this video, I went in with a strong vision on what I wanted Stella's Winx form to look like, and I think it turned out exactly how I was imagining. Even a little better, honestly. I wanted to try and merge her OG, reboot, and even princess looks all together into one amalgamation, giving this iconic intergalactic space princess vibe. While keeping the sports theme in mind, Stella's definitely putting fashion first again, rocking a sleek silver tiara, similar to her ring's design, a crop top with loose straps underneath a silver necklace, her classic arm gauntlets, which reach more down to her hands, a free-tiered skirt similar to her reboot look, and some thigh-high boots, all topped off with silver embellishments everywhere, lots of orange and yellow gradients like a sunset or sunrise, and purple gemstones, just because I thought they added a sense of royalty, also feeling a bit spacey. And my favourite part is her Sailor Moon-inspired moon crescent belly button piercing. Her hairstyle is also quite a bit different, trading out her iconic pigtails for a more braid into a single big curled ponytail. I did experiment with pigtails, but I just think the single ponytail looks a lot nicer, and also really sells this astro-futuristic space vibe more. As for her wings, these ones are a lot more inspired by a reboot pair, as I just think they looked really pretty, referencing a sunrise and a sunset color scheme, along with a floral pattern referencing both the sun and a sunflower. However, copying one-to-one would be a bit boring. So for my take, I tried stretching them out a little bit more, to be a little less rounded, and imitate her OG's free-pointed look. I made the center look more like a sun, with the surrounding patterns resembling that of flower petals and butterfly wings, while topping it off by referencing her OG wings in the middle, and adding this weighted gold trim look to round it all off. Her wing connector is this sleek and sharp spark of light, almost like the little bit you see peeking out over the horizon when the sun first rises in the morning, or the last of it as the sun sets at night. I think Stella turned out amazing, and I'm really happy with the different direction I took, so I hope you like it too. Keeping up with our order of when characters are introduced in the series, the next fairy we meet is none other than the fan favourite Flora, who, I've got to be honest, I completely dropped the ball with in my original video. I think I said it back then too, but I played it so safe with her that it's kind of disappointing to look at. Like, this is just a weaker version of her OG outfit, but what was I thinking? What happened to fun and whimsy? Because of that, I really wanted to make sure that this time Flora finally got a more distinct and fashionable look. So, for once, we're finally steering clear of my old concepts and making something completely new. This time, I took into account both the OG and the reboot look, taking inspiration in small amounts, like aspects of the OG's colour scheme, while also merging the idea of a layered and ruffled clothes from her reboot look. Which, quick tangent, I actually really like Flora's reboot look. I see it get dragged a lot, but I think it's cute and a really nice colour combination going on here with the pastel pinks and turquoise. My only real gripe is the hiking boots. While I love the ribbon laces, the boots throw off the whole thing for me because the top half is giving fashion, but then the bottom half is giving gardener, which does make sense for a nature fairy, but not together. Like, just give her two separate outfits and just let Queen serve with some strappy heels or leg warmers. Anyways, back on track. For my take of Flora, I tried mixing in a boho chic sort of vibe with a summery beach look. Not wanting to lean too boho green thumb, as that feels a little generic to pair with her, and like bordering on how most people depict Fluttershy, me included to be honest. Plus, I wanted to keep in mind OG Flora's more cutesy and pink style. So she's now got a floral looking layered stringy blouse over a knee-length ruffled skirt, some floral strappy wedge heels, all topped off with her simple accessories, such as her big flower hoop earrings, wooden heart pendant, chunky bracelets, and string belt. For a hairstyle, I also changed it up a bit, giving her a little more wavy flowing hair, as if no matter which way the wind blows and messes it up, she'll always just flip it right back into perfect shape and form. And I even gave her some hair buns to reference her Enchantix hairstyle. Well, that and I just think she looks really cute in them. Colours-wise, she's got an interesting blend going on now, as where I tried keeping her base traditional with the iconic golden brown hair and yellow fringe, I decided for her outfit to incorporate some orange in there along with the pastel green and magenta pink, just to give the whole thing a more tropical vibe and pop those brown accessories more. What? That's it. That's all I have to say about the colours. Oh, did you guys think I was going to have another ramp prepared like Bloom or Stella? Nah, this is actually like the first time I don't have anything to say or complain about. So, on to personality, I guess. For my take on Flora, I imagined her as bubbly, sweet, and free-spirited. Someone always with a smile and an upbeat perspective for any situation. Just like her name, she's always got a distinct smell of different flora around her, ranging from flowers, to plants, and even sometimes to everyone's dismay, mud and dirt. But that doesn't bother her at all, as all smells of nature are beautiful. She tends to spend most of her time actually being quite studious, researching and experimenting on different plant life for her extracurricular projects, but also for improving her understanding of ecology too, as while plants are important, so are the creatures and insects that live in those environments too. However, you can usually find her spending her downtime either in the school's greenhouse volunteering, or in a cozy cafe reading a good book. Despite her kind nature, she does sometimes struggle maybe being too nice, not knowing how to stand up for herself or others, or even tell people off when they're being rude. Something she tries hiding behind a smile, but wishes she could overcome and be a bit more confident like Stella. And here's Flora's new look all finished up. And I think she looks super cute. She looks so flowy and free-spirited in her new clothes, which, speaking of, I really love how they turned out. I was actually trying to imitate flower petals with them, without just actually making them straight up petals. So her blouse is meant to be based on carnations, and her skirt a rose. And I think they both look fantastic. I'm also a big fan of her skirt's subtle pattern, which I took from a 60s psychedelic floral pattern, once again adding those subtle little floral hints in the design. I was a little worried about her colours, as I wasn't sure how turning the pink into an accent while adding an orange was going to turn out, and worried it was possibly going to make her blend in with Stella. However, I think it worked out well in the end. Both are still giving their own style and unique way of pairing the colours up. Well, that and I do think the browns also help ground it a little bit more, and maybe make the orange not as obvious on first glance. I don't know, I think I might just be rambling about stuff now, so let's just wrap it up and go see her Winx form, shall we? For Flora's Winx form, I'm actually a little torn on it. Compared to her civilian look, which I thought blended boho and summer really well, I was struggling to really strike a balance between something frilly but still sporty. My main inspiration for her was a gymnast/dancer's outfit, imagining her movements to resemble that of ballet dancing. So she's got a string-tied neckpiece attached to a sort of pink romper leotard thingy, underneath this loose blousey dress with some long arm warmers, referencing the OG's long sleeves, some thigh-high leggings that trail all the way down to her ballet-like slipper shoes, and all simply topped off with some flower arrangements around the side of her hair and the little flowers strewn about everywhere. Like I said, I'm just a little torn on it, as I do think the outfit looks good, but maybe it's just lacking the floral flair I usually expect to get from Flora. I did also make an alternative version of it, which is a little more princess-like, giving her a more puffy top and sleeves, as well as changing out her romper thingy for more of a puffy skirt. And while this one does feel a little more Flora to me, it also looks just a bit out of place when paired up with the others, and not so maneuverable in, which was my main thought of process when designing them. As for her wings, I took a bit of a different direction for both the OG and the reboot styles. I'm not really a fan of how her reboot wings look, feeling a little too generically fairy now, as well as just not looking nice in pink and blue, because the green was just such a good contrasting colour. So I started off copying the OG's wing shape, before deciding to then take a more butterfly spin on things, adding a second bottom part that's connected to the first, so it's still one big wing like she usually has, as opposed to two separated layered ones. And other than adding a few butterfly swirl ending antennas, I just think the inside pattern is pretty simple, you know, a few heart motifs, little droplets like her reboot wings, and even a strawberry inside a heart at the base to reference her OG strawberry skirt. While I do think her wings look cute, especially with the green and pink gradient, I must admit, Flora does have the most just fine set of wings when compared to the others. Even her wing connector is just a simple heart shape, which, while cute, kinda just lacks a bit when compared to everyone else's having a bit more story or themes tied to theirs. But maybe I'm just being too harsh on her. She still does look really cute, and is a total improvement overall. But either way, I hope you like her. Hey there! Today's video is sponsored by me. If you've ever wanted a sneak peek at what I get up to between video releases, you can find out over on my Patreon. Each tier will give you access to all the behind the scene bits that go into the making of all my videos on this channel, including sneak peeks at upcoming content, breakdowns on scrapped concepts and designs, animatics ranging from early drafts to unseen animation trends, and occasionally some mini podcast type videos explaining more about the characters and lore in some of my projects and worlds. You may even get to see some early exclusive art from time to time. So whether you pay £2, £5 or £10, you'll always be kept in the loop and help support both me and the channel. However, higher tiers still come with some perks, such as the £5 sapling tier getting your name featured in the video, and the £10 squibbling tier even having your name read out along with a personalised low poly bust drawing, which you'll get to see some of those at the end of the video. Once again, any support means a lot and will be super appreciated. But I've kept you all long enough, let's get back to the video. Next on our list is none other than one of my favourite characters of the series, and the girl who is getting things done and not afraid to throw hands in any scenario. It's Tecna. Now, for my original concept, I took a very interesting direction with her, as Tecna has always been serving Y2K realness in all of her outfits from the OG. And so, not wanting to just rehash it, I decided to take her in a more Y3K direction, modernising it a bit more and recontextualising it as what we're imagining the future to be like currently. Although, let's be honest, it's going to be corporate minimalism and grey at the rate we're going, so guys, can we bring back colour and whimsy again? Like, oh my god, I'm bored. Anyway, while an interesting choice, I'm not doing that again. I think the idea was cool, but the outfit's execution was pretty mid, and she just looked really out of place when lined up with the other girls. So I'm taking it back to canon, and just gonna keep her in some sporty Y2K fashion, kind of like combining her OG civilian look with her casual dance outfit. And I'm not referencing the reboot with her. I don't think she looks ugly, but I don't think she looks good either. Although, I think this is just a result of her model looking really bad, which is probably what brings it down for me. Either way, I'm just gonna completely ignore it this time round, so let's just put you in the box right there. Just, there you go. Out of sight, out of mind. Keeping Y2K in mind, Tecna is now sporting, well, a very sporty outfit. She's got a sleeveless fleece with a fun wireboard pattern on the stomach and these chrome rings, along with some fleece arm warmers that also have the same chrome rings. A cute tennis skirt over some baggy jogging bottoms which have her name going down the legs, covering up her chunky sneakers. And I think the whole look is topped off by a simple hair clip and earphone accessories around her wild and styled hair. Quite a simple outfit, but fashionable nonetheless. As for her colours, once again, we're keeping it traditional, as I really don't think you can beat the OG's purple, green and silver combo. Like, it looks good no matter what and is truly timeless. I can't ever imagine weirdly just shoving in some blue and hot pink that doesn't fit whatsoever in there, without even much of a thought of the other colours. Or even taking a fairy look and deciding, hey, what if instead of purple, it was the ugliest shade of indigo you've ever seen? And her boots? Yeah, just slap on some Lego blocks on there. Just made some bullshit. Yeah, I'm totally not petty about how they handled my girl in the reboot, I swear. Anyway, moving on next, we have personality. And honestly, I'm not sure if I changed too much about her actually. Tecna's arc is a really sweet one in the series, as you see its effects slowly play out, going from being quite blunt, analytical, and always trying to explain people through numbers and science, to her beginning to open up more, accept more improbabilities and confusing aspects of relationships, and even be more comforting to others. She always read to me as someone that was neurotypical, or even autistic, and the fact that she finds a supportive network like the Winx Club was always really sweet to see. Because of this, I would just make Tecna outright autistic. I'm not sure where I'd place her on the spectrum, but she's someone who struggles reading tone of voice and people's emotion quite a lot, leading to her either avoiding eye contact, or in fact making too much, trying to read your expression, and therefore emotion. She even occasionally uses tech to help gauge results and calculate the appropriate response. A little confusing at first to the Winx Club who didn't understand, but once explained, it's just accepted and a welcomed part of Tecna. Just like her OG counterpart, she's quite sporty and active, enjoying judo and kickboxing for its self-defense and protective moves, and she even keeps an active training schedule, which includes regularly jogging. Because of this, she tends to wear a lot of sportswear, plenty of fleeces and tracksuits that are more comfortable to get around in. Not to say that she doesn't like to dress up now and then, but it all depends on the occasion and environment. Her hobbies include surfing the web, coding, and studying, which, while she prefers to do alone in her own space, she'll occasionally do it with some of the other Winx crew to help guide and tutor them from time to time. But she also does enjoy her downtime moments too, like watching movies or binging TV. Her favourite genres are action and adventure, although she does also have a secret soft spot for romance movies and even rom-coms, being quite the little romantic and yearner, more than people actually realise, and something she loves to chat about with Flora and Stella. And here's Tecna's look all finished up, and I'm obsessed. I don't know what it is about her, but something about her design is just so sleek and fantastic. I love it. Her hair is such a fun and interesting shape, her outfit is so timeless yet so current, and her little smeared makeup matching the outfit without being too jarring. I just love her, and I'm so proud of how she turned out. Really, I don't know what else to say. She just looks so fun and cute, and such an upgrade compared to my old design. I guess this is the perks you get for being one of my faves, for that special treatment. But okay, enough gushing about her civilian look. It's about time we move on to see her Winx form too. Remember in Stella's section when I said there was one other character in this video who we also had a really strong vision for? Well, it was Tecna. Just like Stella, I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to go for right out the gate, being an alternative Y2K sportswear look. And I think I nailed it. From a high-neck sporty crop top, asymmetrical glove sleeves, asymmetrical skirt over leggings that lead down to her big chunky robo boots, all topped off with her tech accessories like her watch and visor. Sorry if I'm jumping the gun a bit, but this eats! I'm so happy with it! And is way more interesting than my original 60s power suit romper vibe that I had going on. I think what helps is that Tecna is such an interesting character to design for, being that her OG Winx form was the most different from the crew, wearing a full bodysuit and a gnome-like hat. So you kind of have a really interesting free reign to do whatever for her, and it'll most likely work and blend her in with the rest of the girls. Like the reboot, I was trying to make her fit more in with the crew, but without making her lose her identity for the sake of matching. So I think keeping all the tech and chrome parts really helps sell this futuristic vibe still. And who knows, maybe I'll make it so that her charmix is that she gets the gnome hat back. As for her wings, I once again just had free reign to do whatever I wanted, as her OG ones were these two computer green tube ones that take the form of a digital paraglider when flying. And her reboot, while a little more interesting, seemed to suffer the same issue as Flora of being a little generic as well as having that pink and blue colour scheme again, even though the green is a better contrast. So, taking inspiration from the reboot's wireboard looking patterns, I gave Tecna these sharper, more triangle-like wings. Quite traditional in what you'd expect a fairy's wings to look like, but as if they're from the future. So they're all silver-lined and plated, with parts of bolts, wireboards, and connectors, all scattered about along with some purple accents to pop off the base green colour. Then for her wing connectors, it's pretty simple and cute, being two mouse cursors touching. Once again, tying back to a tech and computer vibe, and being that of a digital web that connects them. I just love how they look, and when paired up with her Winx form, it all comes together and looks fantastic to me. I don't know what else to say, I just really love her, and I hope you do too. On to our second last character of the day, and the last one introduced in Season 1, we have the talented, brilliant,
incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before
Musa. My old design for her was the most just fine one, I think. I don't hate it, but I also don't entirely oh my god. I also don't entirely love it anymore. She kind of just exists in this weird fashion limbo of being not really alternative, but also not really casual enough. Kind of just a generic rebellious sort of look. And I think I totally could have pushed it more in that direction, which is what I've decided to try and do. For her outfit silhouette, we're taking inspiration more from her OG look than the reboot. But I do just want to say, I actually don't hate the reboot look. I think it's a quite cute and fun dance rave looking outfit, with the baggy red jeans and a Music M crop top over a leotard with some fun shapes. I think the only issue is just the styling of it on the model is really bad. Well, I mean, the models are just bad in general in this show, but despite being baggy jeans, they're not really baggy at all, and just look weirdly loose-fitted on her, and in turn makes Musa look a lot skinnier than I think she actually is. And her crop top is also weirdly too tight, as opposed to having a bit more gap and looseness to it that I think it needs. Either way, not horrible, but just an unfortunate case of the model bringing it down with it. But for my take, Musa's now rocking a much more street fashion cool look, with a big baggy cropped hoodie over some layered cropped shirts that peek out underneath, along with some baggy jeans with ripped holes scattered across her knees and legs and covering up some beat up Converse. And the whole thing is of course topped up with her many accessories, like her red headband, M music note choker, jade guitar pick, piano themed belt, and many jewelry like a belly button hoop, eyebrow piercing, and big hoops. I also thought it'd be cool if she got to experiment with her fashion some more, mixing matching between more masculine and more feminine clothing randomly each day, depending on how she felt. As for her hair, I really love how it looks. I wanted to mix things up by scrapping her pigtails completely, and instead going for a much shorter style, with an undercut at the back, and much more long and spiky side part and fringe at the front. Other than just looking cool, I like the look of Musa with shorter hair. Plus I thought it could make for a fun detail where we can watch it grow out longer during the series, and therefore more clearly show a progression of time, with Musa continuing to cut and style her hair in various alternative ways. That, and I just think having another character with short hair like Tecna is nice. You know, not all of them need to have this long, silky, straight hair. For colours, we're once again, say it with me, going traditional. This one is a bit more out of spite for the reboot, who I think messed up Musa's colours quite badly. While I like her outfit, her red being more dulled to the point of bordering on pinkish is quite strange, which is even more dulled by her pink headphones, making her signature colour look like an afterthought. As well, her hair being a really bad unnatural colour of blue irks me. Like, I get it. OG Musa had blue navy hair too, but this was still a nice dark colour, and clearly meant to be as both a stylistic choice contrasting her from both her red outfits and other background characters, while also still kind of implying her hair is dark or black with a blue sheen to it. It makes for a fun reference to how even some natural hair colours can appear unnatural under certain lighting. This, however, is just neon blue, and it looks bad in all lighting. especially when paired up with her bright-ass blue eyes too. Like, it's all just too bright and wrong, and I hate it. So, simple as best. Back to her dark blue and bordering on black hair. Nice saturated deep reds, but also some purple and green accents to help break up the outfit, so it isn't just red and blue all over. Now, onto personality time. What I loved about OG Musa was, despite her confident and quick-to-jab nature, she was actually the most sensitive of the girls, even more so than Flora the romantic. She's just a girl with a big heart and lots of love to give, so tell me why Rainbow was playing in her face constantly by putting her through war with Ribbon. Look, I made this joke in the last video, but it was like the most rewatched part of it, so it's getting reused here too. But girl, get up. Queen never cry.
We never cry.
Anyway, at least the one thing I can say the reboot handled great was Ribbon. It only took 20 years, but he and Musa finally have a more healthy relationship. So congrats guys, I'm glad therapy worked out. Now, for my take on Musa, I'd love to see her as someone that's a bit more laid back and quieter. Still very sociable and always up for a party, but more of a fairy of few words. This doesn't stop her from performing, or hopping in and bonding with different street performers and magics, letting the music take the flow and speak on her behalf. She just prefers to be a bit more of a listener sometimes, always there to be someone's shoulder and burden that weight, giving others the support she wished she had when she was younger, when things got a little tough, mainly around the time her mother passed away. While she might sometimes come across as either shy or cold, it's never intended like that. Musa just struggles to find the right thing to say, so sometimes it's just easier to not say anything at all, preferring to let actions speak over words. Out of the crew, she's definitely the one with the biggest heart, always trying to do the right thing by being honest and always offering a hand to those in need, even volunteering at community centers to provide entertainment and activities. Despite her ever so busy schedule, she does still have time off, playing video games with Aisha and Tecna, or just sitting on whatever movie or TV show the girls have put on. And here's Musa's look all finished up, and I think the final result turned out amazing. I can't lie, I was a little on the fence with her concept as I don't think it looked as good as it did in my head, so I was slowly trying to tweak it while drawing to get something that felt more right. And I think the final result is fantastic. Her hair looks amazing and is definitely one of the best in this video. Her fashion looks so cool but not overly detailed, and her face, I don't know how to put it, but I just love her cheeky expression. And also her colours are so vibrant and fun, and I'm really glad I decided to go with the brown eyes that she had in some early concept in the reboot, as I just think they complement the reds a bit better, also looking really cute on her. And I'm also glad the purples and blues paired up really well and don't clash or distract from the whole piece. Okay, enough gushing about her civilian form. I think it's time we checked out her Winx form. I think similarly to Flora, this is another Winx form I'm divided on. I basically just tried reheating my own nachos from my old video because I think the look I made for her was super cute and had potential. I don't know, something about Musa in split flared trousers like a disco dancer outfit just makes sense to me. But trying to make that more sporty to fit in line with the other girls, it just ended up completely changing the vibe and now I really don't like the outfit. Oops. Like, don't get me wrong, I still like aspects of it, like her hair growing out into her signature pigtails, framed by some cool Y2K looking headphones with the M music note logo, her activewear crop top referencing the OG's off-the-shoulder look, while also imitating that of a key-pow top. And that's about it. I'm not really a fan of how the legging jogging bottoms look. They're kind of just a little too plain, which is funny because I'm the one that drew them, so why did I do that? Maybe it's the balance of purples and whites that could be throwing me off. So I did make an alt where Musa's now sporting some white boots and gloves instead. Still not vibing with it, but hey, maybe let me know which one you prefer. What I do vibe with is her wings, as I think the reboot actually gave a massive upgrade to hers. In the OG, she was repping some very thin dragonfly ones, whereas in the reboot, her new wings are way more musical themed, looking like a pair of neon signs themed after a piano, with some cute musical quarter notes sprinkled in as golden accents, and I really love that. So for my take, I took heavy inspiration from the reboot, wanting to keep the base of the OG's 4-wing look, but with that neon musical twist, giving her a gold arch structure that tapers out into quarter notes, with in-between wings resembling that of piano keys, just like the reboot. Along the inside is some golden embellishments of bass clefs, along with the edging being music lines. And for my favourite bit, her wing connectors are 2 treble clefs, intertwined with one another, something so delicate yet so beautiful, just like her music. Despite my own doubts, I still think Musa looks great, and I really hope you guys like her. Now, last but certainly not least, we have my other favourite character of the series, Aisha, or as some of you might know her by her second name, Layla. Now, Aisha's actually the one that made me want to do this video in the first place, because let's be honest, I did this queen wrong, like, oh my god, what was I doing? And the blouse just thrown on top of it all just made some bullshit. Truly just hitting sticks together and lying in your faces that it's good.
Is that me? No, it's nice.
Anyway, it's time I do my Gemini sister justice. So, Aisha, I hope you like this look a lot more. For her civilian look, I actually wanted to try finding a bridge between her OG and her reboot design. Because despite how kind of poop this is, I think there's potential here for something cute and cool. Now, her OG look? Timeless. Peak character design right here. So much so that I just originally made a weaker version of it, but with a long sleeve shirt instead of a tank top. But we can do better than that. Taking additional inspiration from her intro look with the cropped hoodie and cargos, Aisha is now sporting this cool skater vibe. Something baggy that I think could be both cute and cool. Having a strappy tank top like her OG look, some pulled up baggy cargos to almost look cropped, a pair of blocky sports trainers, all topped up with her accessories such as her cute orchid hair tie, embellished arm bracelets, which I imagine were made by the mermaids of Androst and gifted to Aisha, which is why she wears them so proudly, and some sweatbands that match her shoes. I also tweaked her hairstyle to be a bit more of a side pull fringe look with some baby hair showing, and her big bundle of wavy hair has all been tucked back into a large ponytail, just so that her hair doesn't get in her way when she's skateboarding or biking around. Although, I can't lie, I did go back and forth quite a bit on possibly giving her pigtails because she just looks so cute in them. A big thing I wanted to put a lot of focus into was trying to keep both her active side and her fashionable style too, as I didn't want her redesign to fall into the stereotype of the sporty black girl, which is when a show, especially a reboot, loves to assign a sports personality and hobby to a black character, and only that, devoiding them any sense of fashion, expression, or hobbies, and in some worst cases, even stripping them of femininity to be more androgynous or masculine. Just look at the likes of Orange Blossom from Berry in the Big City, Tirani from the Witch 2023 graphic novels, and even our own Aisha in the Winx reboot. All characters that have had their personalities, hobbies, and fashion all sanded down to just be sporty, even though they were so much more than that. They're multifaceted characters that have a range of interests and personality traits, and even more you could explore and expand upon in these stories and different takes on them. Or in some cases, they weren't even sporty, they were just made into that, like Orange Blossom was. But this tangent's not to police and say that you can't make a black character sporty, or else that's weird and you're wrong. This is more just to raise a strange observation people have been noticing towards kid shows in the past few years. That's just a little weird, you know? Anyway, getting back on track, for her colour scheme, for once, I'm breaking the cycle a bit, and actually taking a bit more inspiration from the reboot. Well, I do think OG Aisha's lilac and khaki combo looks good. Khaki. Khaki? Khaki. 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 How the f do you say that colour? Well, I do think OG Aisha's lilac and khaki combo looks good. I really like the more mossy green the reboot introduces. So I took that and also sprinkled in some more accents of pink in there, as it works well with the lilac while also matching her makeup. Which, can I just say, I love how her makeup turned out. The pastel pink and green glitter eyeshadow with the magenta eyeliner, and then her lip having an ombre effect. I've been having fun with everyone's makeup in this video, but Aisha's takes the cake. Hers just looks so good, and I really love the final result of it. Now for personality time. Like Tecna, Aisha is another one who I love for her character arc, as early in the series, despite her playfulness and caring nature to both the Pixies and the other girls, she herself is quite lonely, timid, and afraid of losing her friends and ending up alone again. Well, that in the dark, but I kind of associate her fear of darkness as a stand-in for her loneliness, but that's just a theory. A game theory! Yet, throughout season 2, you watch her gain more confidence in herself as she overcomes her fears, gives more opinionated responses to the girls, and even acts more rebellious as a princess, something she would have never done as a child to disappoint her parents, but actually helps show them that she's grown into such an amazing heroic character who will surely lead her kingdom of Andros towards a better future. Like, she's just such a cool character, man, and I'm so glad she was added to the series. But enough gushing about how much I love the OG writing. The real question is, how would I handle her? For my take on Aisha, I imagine a scenario similar to the reboot, where she's present earlier in the story, but not as a part of the Winx crew just yet, as she's actually a little bit shy and struggles to hold much of a conversation with others, not really having much social experience due to being raised alone and sheltered from the outside world, until she was finally able to convince her parents to let her go to Alphia Academy, thanks to its reputation of other princesses attending and graduating at top marks. However, once you get past her shy demeanor, Aisha is a lot more free-spirited and rebellious than you'd realize, taking advantage at school to act a lot more loose and casual, even putting in her secret eyebrow piercing, but immediately straightening up and acting more formal once she knows her parents are on the way. She originally stays in an isolated dorm room, organized by her parents believing she'd prefer the privacy and silence, not realizing just how alone and isolated she feels. But after befriending the Wings, it's Bloom and Stella who invite her to switch to their dorm, Stella even offering to give up her upstairs wardrobe for Aisha, something she accepts happily, and marks the beginning of her opening up more and being more proactive and social. Aisha's into all sorts of activities and hobbies, from skateboarding, climbing, swimming, gymnastics, cheerleading, ballet, surfing, biking. She's done it all, and if not, will be ready to give it a try. But her most favourite is probably dancing. It's a great way for her to let loose, and something she loves to go out doing with Flora and Stella. Despite her super energetic hobbies, she's also got a soft spot for poetry, it being the one thing she actually really liked learning from her tutors in Andros. There's so many stories and emotions you can tell using it, almost like it's music. But her tender-hearted self prefers to read the romantic ones, as just like Tecna, she too is a bit of a sweetheart who likes romance and love. Something rather tense for her since she found out about an arranged marriage she's trapped in to a prince she's never even met before and sounds way older? Another twist I'd love to make is on Aisha's arranged marriage plot, as instead of having the twist be that the man she fell for was actually the man she was arranged to marry anyway, so it's all okay and works out, I think it'd be cool to see Aisha actually fight against it, not only because the prince she's betrothed to has no care for the kingdom's people, looking out mostly for power and wealth, but also for her own choice and freedom in the matter, in which she proudly rejects the marriage and chooses Naboo. And while you'd maybe expect outrage from her parents, they actually accept it. On the one hand, because they already know Naboo, being a part of a noble family they're close with, but on the other hand, watching their daughter take such a rebellious stand for the sake of her and their people's future just showed how much of a strong and amazing leader Aisha had become, and that Andros would be in safe hands no matter who she chose. And here's Aisha all finished up, and I think she looks absolutely great. To be fair, no matter what I did, I think she was going to look a whole lot better than my original drawing with its wonky anatomy and messy wardrobe, but I just think this new Aisha is so stylish and adorable. I love how cool the outfit turned out, I love how saturated the colours are, and I just love how cute her hair is. She's rocking that side fringe, as well as having her natural reddish hair colour back. She's just so fun to look at, and I had a blast just writing about her too. Kinda like Tecna, my faves seem to be getting special treatment in this video, but I think they deserve it, especially with how later Winx ended up treating them. But enough about how much I love this and that about Aisha. How about we reveal the last Winx form for today? Now, I have to be honest, Aisha's Winx form gave me so much trouble to actually figure out. See, her OG was this super iconic, cropped up skort combo with a green sash wrapped around her waist, with lots of silver jewellery, and a reboot looking quite different in a blue swimsuit design that I quite like, just not in the blue colour they picked. So you'd think that just making Winx forms sportier for her would be the easiest to do, since I just have to make it a swimsuit design and then bam, I'm done, right? Well, no! Because I was struggling on how to make a swimsuit design look more interesting than just a leotard. as well as trying to figure out how to add more males into her design to kind of match this theme I've set so far of all the princesses having more gold and silver than the other girls. In the end, I kind of just had to bite the bullet after testing multiple different concepts and finally settled on this one, which is a bit like a yoga outfit over a swimsuit, but also a bit like a ribbon dancer. She's sporting this strappy wrapped blouse top all over a one-piece swimsuit, which is underneath some flared yoga looking pants, kinda meant to imitate the fins of a fish because she's aquatic themed. And to top it all off, her hair is now in a bundle of twists, separate into pigtails, held back by a Morphix looking bead bubble. And she's also wearing a thin, delicate tiara around her forehead. Is it perfect? No. But do I love the colours and hair at least? Yes. Listen, I think I was onto something here, but was just one more set of tweaks off finally getting the perfect look for her. So much so I even made an alt here where she has these see-through arm sleeves, meant to be similar to that of flowing water. Either way, this is a super long tangent for me to just say, I also made another version of her outfit, which I think looks a whole lot better. I tried matching it more in line with the other princesses we've seen so far, and I think it paid off a lot better for it, as she's now giving more of a sense of royalty, while still having that very loose and elegant flow to her outfit. As for her wings, I once again took heavy inspo from her reboots, because I think they look gorgeous, if just a little clashing against her blue outfit. So, similar to Aisha's OG wings, I tried keeping a 3-point shape to them. However, like the reboot, they're much more rounded with sharp tips, almost like water droplets, with the insides being very reflective and iridescent like water, along with some extra droplet patterns inside, and all topped off with this silver framing and these cute little water droplets hanging from the tips of each wing ending. And her connector is also simple, being 3 water droplets, because again, you know, Fairy of Waves, so a lot of waves and water imagery going on here. Well, that, and I also think them being a little more droopy looks really beautiful. While maybe a little harder to design than her civilian form, I'm still really happy with how her Winx form turned out overall, and I hope you like it too. And that's all the Winx Club finished up, and I think they turned out amazing. This video was a joy to make, and a great way to really see how I've grown as an artist and a YouTuber. Plus, the day or week this video will be released should be my birthday, June 17th, so be nice. This is literally my birthday project, and I put a lot of love and care into this one. It feels really strange looking back, because you never realize how much your style gradually changes without putting it side by side with your older work. I assumed I was still drawing the same way I was 2 years ago, but clearly I've made all these little tweaks and differences that are slowly formed into its own new look, and I really like it. I can't put my finger on what it reminds me of, other than girly media illustrations. You know, your classic Girls Go games, or like Totally Spies posters. I think it's just something about the faces that scream that to me. But who knows, maybe I'm just making things up, and you guys see a different source of inspiration. For once, picking a favourite out of the girls is a really hard decision for me, because while I'm torn on their Winx forms, I think all the civilian forms look amazing. But trying to avoid playing favourites, I'd have to say the ones I'm happiest with were Bloom and Musa. But if I did have to account for their fairy forms, then I'd have to say it's Tecna and Stella. But enough about my picks. I'd love to hear who your favourite girls were in the comments down below. Also, for those waiting for the real part 3, don't fear, because that lineup is all finished, so you'll be seeing them sooner than you think, once I get back to editing it instead of this video. The way I kinda really wasn't lying about the see you in 10 months comment in the last video. From the silhouettes, you can probably guess who won the vote between the Specialists and the 7th Winx members. Because, well, the Specialists don't have wings. To be honest, it was actually a tied vote count between the two themes, both having 21 votes each, which kinda meant I was gonna have to flip a coin to decide. But thankfully, someone randomly commented the same week that they'd love to see the 7th Winx members, therefore just bumping them up by 1, winning the whole thing. So, hope you'll be excited to see them soon. I want to give a big shout out to my supplement tier patrons for helping support the channel. And also, I can't forget a big thank you to my scribbling tier patrons, Half Fictional, Bumby Bumblebee, Emmy Delightful, Sweebread, Endless Cupid, Fran Fran B, Cassie, and a Clovery. Your guys' support helps keep the channel going, and these videos are higher quality, so thank you so much. With that, I hope you had a good day and a fun time watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. See ya!